Hello, my friends. Welcome to Typeburg, the typographic citadel. Today, we have in our series Learn How to Do It, number 2, Glyph with Texture. Let's have fun. This is the first part because I'm gonna teach you different techniques how to create glyph with texture. As you know, glyph are design of letters. For example, if you use your handwriting and you make your lowercase a, b, c, whatever, you have your own style for those letters. So letters are symbols that represent sounds. That's the concept, right? But when you create your own style, your own design from those letters, they are glyph. And a collection of glyph make typefaces. Okay, so I have this composition, this work from my book, Typographic Structure. By the way, you can find this book if you want to buy it. You can find it in my website. To my website, let me open here. Jorge Montero site. You can see here my portfolio. You take a look at my work if you want. And here, the second section after home, you click there and then you see this banner. You click there, that takes you to the the publishing company, Kendall Hunt Publishing Company. So click here, that take you to the Kendall Hunt page, specifically where this book is. But also here you can take a look at the video that shows my book, all the pages, etc. And also you can see some detailed spreads from my book. Okay, so from here, I took this composition and see these textures of these letters. You're gonna learn how to do that. So the first part is how to create this texture, that specific section. All right, see, that's the outcome. But this is the beginning. So you have your clean letters that you created in Illustrator or in InDesign, and then you print it in a piece of paper, and then you, you crumple the paper, you scratch on the paper, and you have this super cool texture. Let me stop sharing and you can see it better. See? Look at all these details. Much better here, right? Okay, let me do this. See? Look at the details. This is with my cell phone. Remember, I don't have a team of video editors. I don't have a special software for these videos. Who cares? What is important is the content, right? And what you're gonna learn. So that's what we are doing. Okay, so check it out. Look at this. So you print this composition in a piece of paper and then you sample, you scratch it, and you get this. Wow, look at the details. All right. Okay, let me share the screen again. All right, so that's the plan. But when you have this printed and scratched, what is the next step? Of course, you need to go to Photoshop. So in Photoshop, you have this, you scan it, and of course, when you scan it, you're gonna have maybe the paper or the background is not totally white, so you use levels. Command L, and then you make a little more contrasting, but not super contrasting because you don't want to lose the detail, right? By the way, when you are using levels, what you see here, this diagram is called histogram. Histogram shows you the way that the pixels are distributed in the image. but only move this. That's straightforward. You have three triangles. The dark triangle, the black triangle is for the darkest areas in the picture, and the white triangle is the opposite, the lighter areas in the picture. See, and this is for midtones. But again, you don't want to lose those details, so don't go so extreme. Well, depending on what you want. Okay, imagine that you want that. Say, okay, next step is selecting the whole thing, Command A. So make sure that you don't have a layer. Well, if you have a layer, no problem, like this. So this is not the background, but a layer. But much better, in this case, I started from a background. Okay, if you are not familiar with Photoshop, Photoshop uses the same concept from traditional animation. So you have a background. Imagine that you are watching an animated movie with a super beautiful or whatever background. So you know that for every second, an average of 29 frames per second. So it's like tak 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 tak, right? Okay, so the background is fixed. What changes are the elements that are moving, and those elements are printed or posted or in an acetate, something that is transparent. So it's the same concept of layers. So when you create a new layer, Command Shift N, whatever. Also, you can click here on plus, of course. So see, I have a transparent, let's say, let's using the metaphor of acetate, and then you have whatever element there, see, is separated from the background. So the background is something fixed, but this is an acetate that is on. Well, I mean, of course, it's just a metaphor. It's not an acetate. It's a transparent sheet that is on the background. All right. Okay. So as I said, select the whole thing, Command A, cut, which is Command X. Remember, if you are using a PC and you're using a Mac, when I say command for you, PC users, is control. Command A and then cut, Command X. Cutting is copying and deleting at the same time. And this is a universal shortcut that is for whatever software. Okay, now I'm gonna introduce you what is called alpha channels. By the way, here I have CMYK, you don't, depending on what you're doing, but I don't need that. So I'm gonna move to RGB. So imagine that you're working on something that's not going to be printed. Okay, so channels are color separation. So you can see here, I don't have anything that I can show you with color, but let me open whatever image. Let me see if I have something with color. Um, let me see this one. Okay, see they have colors. So here you can see all the components of red, all the components of green, but let me delete the rest, hide the rest. See, all the components of blue, all the components of green, and all the components of red. Of course, you see a grayscale because this is just the color separation. Okay, anyway, here, let me delete this. Oh no, this is not the one that I'm using. Okay, so when you go to channels, you see the color separation. In this case, you don't see anything because, of course, I don't have anything here. Yes, my canvas, right? All right, so when you go to channels and you click plus, that's an extra channel, but what it is really is sort of like a scratch board that when you draw with white, see, whatever that is white or tone of white, like gray, these are selections, kind of abstract. So maybe there's something, if you are not familiar with Photoshop, this is something weird for you. Okay, at this point, the only thing that you need to know, because I want to go deeply into Photoshop, is that you need to create a new channel and it's called alpha channel. And it is to save selection or to create selection. See, as I said before, wherever is white It's a selection. Okay. So conclusion, you paste the design that you had in that layer or in the background before. And remember, this is absolutely crucial. What you see in white is selection. What you see in black is non-selection. Since what we want is to have this design as a selection, we need to make it inverted. It's Command I, right? Okay. And then don't forget, since we work on layers, before going back to layers, you need to click here on the top. No here, no there. Here in this gray stripe where you see RGB. RGB is the image because it is the blending of red, green, and blue in this case, right? Okay, so you just click on the top and then you go back to layers. Okay, I'm gonna change the background color to whatever color, let's say yellow. See, Alt Delete fills a selection with the foreground color. Alt Delete. Okay, so what I did was separating that those letters that were blended to the background. I separate them. So you don't want to blend those letters again to the background. What you want is a new layer. Okay, so you create a new layer. By the way, I prefer instead of clicking on plus, Command Shift N because you can name the layer right away. You can say letters. Okay, in that letters layer, you go to selection, low selection, and then here is hidden. So that's why you see this little arrow. Click there, and then you see alpha 1. And then you click, and there you go. You have your design as a selection. Now fill it with whatever color. Doesn't have to be black. Black in this case is default. So for example, it could be blue. What is the shortcut to fill a selection with the foreground color? I told you, Alt Delete. Boom. And then Command D to deselect. See? That's super cool, huh? Okay. And also, if you want, you can make, for example, a duplicate, and then you can fill that with another color. See, I click on the thumbnail, holding Command down, and I make a selection from that layer. I repeat, um, I duplicate this, or like this also. If you have the black arrow with auto select, you can drag and make a copy, right? But also you can do that here too, like this. Well, you can click here. Ah, of course, holding Alt, make a copy, right? Or you can drag it here on plus. Same thing. Okay, have copy, see? And then you hold Command, click on the thumbnail, and then you make a selection from that layer. Gonna change the color, but in this case, see the background color. So you can change the background color, and then Alt Delete fill with the foreground color. But if I want to fill that selection with the background color, instead of Alt, Command Delete. See? Okay, and then I can move it a little, and I can work with blending mode, see, to see create a cool effect, like for example, like that, see, etc. But that's easy one, right? I just wanted to show you that possibility. Okay, and then you don't need the background. Just delete the background, and you save this. If you want, you can save it as a PNG, or you can just save it as a Photoshop, no problem. Because also, if you don't need to delete this, just hide the I, and then you save it as a Photoshop file. And that's it. Okay, and then when you go back to Illustrator, let me create another board. Shift O, as in Orlando, drag it, and then delete this. Why I didn't just click on plus, see Shift O, clicking on plus, Shift O to create another artboard because I wanted to have the logo of Typeburg. All right, here I import what I just made. Command Shift P or Control Shift P if you have a PC. It's a shortcut for importing. Okay, so remember, do not just copy and paste. No, you need to import it to create that embedding relationship. All right, so where it is? I forgot where I save it. Okay, I think I haven't saved it. Okay. Mm, yes, Photoshop. Yes, Photoshop. Okay, gonna number two. Okay. And then I go to Illustrator and then I select number two, this one. See? Ta-da! And this is hello. It's transparent. See? It's transparent. You have whatever color behind. Command Shift less bracket. See? Command 2 to lock. See? It's transparent. But also, let me show you because this is raster, right? But if you want that vector, super easy. You don't need to use um, image trace. You can just go to Photoshop. Look at this. Make a selection of that. Remember, Command and click on the thumbnail of that layer. And then go to Path. You say, make a working path. Say, OK, copy. And then you go to Illustrator and you paste it. But now that is vector. It's vector. So let's look for whatever color. See? So the difference, of course, the raster one has more details, but this is cool too. It's up to you. Doesn't have to be raster. Okay. But also when I said this, the resolution was not that good. So make sure it's 300 dpi. Let me check. Where's the resolution of that? Let me go back. Command Alt or Option I. The resolution was good, but the size was too small. Okay, well, that's it. That's what I wanted to show you. Now you have your texture text. See, vector or raster. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. So see you in the new adventure together. Bye.